bringing stats like a kingpin. MMA knowledge needs his nephews all lean in, breaking down fights, codes that daddy supreme on. Just a tip show, he's cooking up a dream. Uncle Weezy, he the man, dropping fight facts, got it all on hand. He the stat attack grand, MMA guru, more than just a fan. Wanna know the numbers? Weezy got them cataloged, from the fighters reach down to how many times they dog. Just a tip living, breaking it down slick, hit you with the knowledge, won't miss a single trick. Uncle Weezy, he the man, dropping fight facts, got it all on hand. He the stat attack grand, MMA guru, more than just a fan. Balls deep predictions, he be making those calls, getting in the details, opponents feeling small. From jazz to takedowns, got the whole fight ID. Uncle Weezy spitting truth, no lie, keep it G. Blow the horn, blow the horn. Stat Daddy Weezy not showing no scorn. Fight night kingdom, he wearing the crown. Break it down for the peeps, never looking like a clown.
Oh, yes. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday afternoon. We just had the weigh-ins for UFC Vegas 110 that's going to be headlined by Steve Garcia and David Onama. Really fun main event between two guys that have never main evented before at the UFC level. So it's going to be two guys looking to kind of climb into that top 10 and stay there for a minute. And whoever, wins this fight is going to get that next step up in their next fight, because you already saw Garcia get a big win over a veteran in Calvin Kattar. Now, if he gets a main event win here over Onama, he's going to be launched up into that top 10 and start getting some really tough fights. And with Onama, you got him coming off of a win over a veteran in Giga Chikadze. So it's a good main event. Now, this isn't the biggest name heavy card that we got here. And there are several fights that my money is going to be going nowhere near for this card. So I just want to tell you that right up front. Like, I'm going to tell you what fights when we do this full card breakdown that my money just isn't going to be on. I'm just going to be staying away from it, because there's a lot of shady fights. There's a lot of lower level fights. There's a lot of greasy ass fights on this card. And I'm trying to do my best to kind of just identify those fights up front, the ones that I really don't want money on because of the variance involved, and just stay away from them and enjoy them, and then just try to, get some notes on both fighters going forward so that we can maybe snipe some lines the next time that they fight when we have a little more information. So here's what we're going to do today, you guys. I'm going to give you guys a quick full card breakdown here. I'm going to give you my dog pick of the week. I'm going to give you my most confident pick of the week, which is what I call Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. Who's going to go out there and shave their opponent's ass violently, win in a way that makes you think like, wow, that was easy. That was great. That was dominant. And then we're going to do a Greasy 4-leg parlay with some meat on the bone. And then I want to talk to you guys in the chat, see what you guys are thinking of this card. You can ask me any questions that I can answer with my stats packages, with my betting models. Feel free to ask away, and we'll talk some fights after I break this card down for you guys. I'm Uncle Weezy. I'm your host. And if you want to get access to what I do every week, which is not here on YouTube, the link to my Odds Shopper probability stats and content package is in the description of this video. And there is a link that is good tonight until about midnight that will give you 50% off of your first month's membership. And it'll give you access to my stats packages, my betting models, my individual fighter stats, my matchup stats, my fight write-ups, all my tracked bets. And then I do 2 shows on YouTube every week that are unlisted videos that we do a full card breakdown show that usually takes 2 to 2.5 hours called Balls Deep Breakdowns with Uncle Weezy. And then we do a plus EV prop betting show called Probability, where we take the reads that we got in Balls Deep Breakdowns, and then we kind of combine them with my proprietary betting models to find the best plus EV prop bets of the week. We put together a couple of fun parlays every week, and we find a lot of the, underpriced prop bets that we can attack to try to find some value in these betting markets. So if you want to get access to all that content that you don't see here on YouTube every week, click on the link in the description and I'll give you a 50% off discount of your first month's membership. Come check it out. We got some really phenomenal stuff here. And when I say we, I mean me, you know, the royal we. It's all me, you guys. The betting models are all me. All the stuff done behind the scenes is all me. All the fight research is all me. I keep this database up by myself. I do it behind the scenes every week. And if you want to get access to all the phenomenal information that's in there and support your Uncle Weezy's work, it would be much appreciated. But if you can't do that, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, leave me a comment down below, and just let me know what you're thinking of the content, what you're thinking of the card, what you think of the picks this week. So let's get right into it, you guys. Let's start with the first fight of the night, which is going to be Talita Alencar versus Ariane Carnelossi. And we've got Alencar, a pretty big favorite here, which, you know, I mean, that scares me because I'm not a big fan of Talita. She's sitting around minus 230. And then you've got Ariane Carnelossi, who's on a super long layoff here and has only fought one time over the last 4.5 years. And the win that she got was as a result of a disqualification. Her performance in that fight, it just wasn't very good. So, I mean, my pick here is going to be Talita Alencar by decision. Ariane Carnelossi has been notoriously bad at defending takedowns. And this fight probably winds up looking a lot like Vanessa Demopoulos versus Talita Alencar, because Demopoulos also has really bad takedown defense. And but the difference between Carnelossi and Vanessa is that Ariane will try and get back up. She's not somebody that's going to willingly play jiu-jitsu off of her back. Like you'll see in her fights against Godinez that she's getting taken down multiple times in a round, which means that she is getting back up. And I think if she can make Talita work, that, you know, potentially she could present some value here. I don't think Talita Alencar is going to be a very complete MMA fighter at this level when she starts going up the ladder and people start stuffing her takedowns, because she doesn't really have a clinch game. She doesn't really have power on the feet or the ability to win minutes at distance striking range. And she's frankly not offering a lot on the ground either. So other than just kind of lay and pray. So I'll go with an Alencar lay and pray decision here, but I do think Ariane Carnelossi is live. But it's hard to know where she's at right now, just simply because she hasn't fought at all over the last 4 years, just one fight. And she didn't look good there. So it's really hard to back either fighter with my money at this spot. You know, the pick is Alencar by decision, but I'm staying away from this fight. The next one is going to be Phil Rowe versus Seok-Hyun Ko. We got Ko is a minus 175 favorite. Phil Rowe is plus 150, and the fight doesn't go to decision here, sitting at minus 105 for this fight. I'm picking Phil Rowe to win by knockout. All 4 of Phil Rowe's UFC wins come by way of KO. Both of Seok-Hyun Ko's career losses come by way of knockout. And Ko is somebody that when he's at distance striking range, his hands are like very wide and they're nowhere near his chin. And his chin is just way up in the air. So while I do think that Ko is going to be pressuring Rowe, getting him on the back foot and looking to clinch up where Ko can use his judo to get his takedowns and then look to stay on top, kind of win a lay and pray decision like he did against Oban Elliott. So if I'm playing the Ko side and I want to fade Phil Rowe's takedown defense and I want to fade his get-up game and I want to fade his fight IQ, I would play Seok-Hyun Ko by decision, but I don't trust Ko's chin at all. And I think that the last 2 guys that he's beaten and was priced as massive underdogs against, you know, when you see a guy going from being plus 400 against, you know, like a nobody like Igor Cavalcanti on Dana White's Contender Series to being priced as almost a minus 200 favorite versus a guy with 4 UFC wins in Phil Rowe, it gets a little bit tricky. That's a massive price shift for one fight here. And while Ko did look very good in the Oban Elliott fight, it was Oban who was initiating the grappling exchanges that got him put on his back 2 out of the 3 rounds. So I don't think Phil's going to make that mistake. And I just think at distance striking range that Seok-Hyun Ko's 9-inch reach disadvantage that he's at, the 5-inch height disadvantage, the fact that he doesn't have his hands anywhere near his chin, that is up way too high in the air. I think Phil Rowe is going to touch him at some point and knock this dude out. So I'm going with Phil Rowe by second round knockout. I like Phil Rowe's underdog money line this week, and I'm a huge fan. I gave out a free bet on Twitter this week, which was Phil Rowe to win by knockout, available at plus 475 to plus 500 right now on BetRivers Sportsbook. I've got a half unit on that, I believe. Or maybe it's 3/4 of a unit. I think it's 3/4 of a unit, actually. But yeah, I gave out that free bet on Twitter. It's on the Odds Shopper Tales page of the free bets that they have on their website every single week. So yeah, Phil Rowe, knockout, round 2 is the pick. But if I'm on that Suck Hyung Ko side, I like the decision prop at plus 150 because I don't think that Rowe's going to get finished at this level. The next fight, Ardelian at minus 400 versus Montserrat Ruiz plus 300. The fight doesn't go to decision here, sitting at plus 195. I think that Alice can potentially get this young lady out of there, but it's not a fight I'm going to get my money anywhere near. I don't believe in Alice Ardelian's skill set to be playing her at minus 400 at the UFC level, and I don't really care who she's fighting. And, you know, with Ruiz, she's been off for 2 years, so who knows what she's been doing. She might even be worse, you know, than she was 2 years ago when she was on a 3-fight losing streak where she was knocked out in all 3 of those fights. So I think, like, the bet with the most value here would be an Ardelian KO and Ardelian inside the distance. However, I also think that her money line is entirely too wide just based on what Alice's skill set is, what her ceiling is at this level. How much better is she really going to be than Ruiz? And if Ruiz does get a couple of head and arm throws here and can potentially eat up some minutes, this could wind up actually getting kind of close. So greasy ass fight, a fight that I want my money nowhere near. I am not condoning a bet on Montserrat Ruiz because she hasn't fought in 2 years, you guys. So there's a huge amount of variance with her just being gone for so long that, you know, I just don't see how you can back her. And then I don't see how you can back Alice Ardelian in a UFC fight at minus 400. So I'm fine just staying away, and I'm picking Ardelian by KO in round number 2. This is another fight I'm going to stay away from. It's Dante Johnson versus Cedricus Dumas. I feel like we've still got a lot to learn about Dante Johnson, and he's been fighting up at 205 and 265 on the regional scene here, and now he's finally moving down to middleweight, where I don't think he's going to have a big speed advantage over his opponents like he did up at the upper weight classes. So I'm still interested to see how Dante looks at 185, how he handles the UFC debutante nerves, the potential adrenaline dump that might come along with that, how he would look in a second or a third round in a pro fight at the UFC level, seeing as in his 6 professional fights, he's never been out of the first round. And his entire MMA career has lasted 12 minutes, you guys. Dante Johnson has fought for 12 minutes as a professional. So a lot of unanswered questions here on the Dante Johnson side. So I'm just staying away from the fight. But the thing about Dumas is that he just doesn't look like he likes being hit at all. And it does look like if you can get the momentum going in your favor, you can get this guy out of there pretty easily. So I do think that Dante is going to try to take his head off, and he probably is going to succeed early in the fight, get him out of there in round 1. But, you know, with the line being minus 350, with the round 1 prop being like plus 100, plus 150, somewhere in that range, you know, there's no meat on the bone. And I don't feel like I want to overreach on somebody that has got this many unanswered questions in Dante Johnson in his UFC debut against a much more experienced opponent who all of his wins are by decision too. So like the biggest unanswered question being, how is he going to handle a second and third round at the pro level? A guy like Cedricus has answered those questions. So it's a greasy fight. My money's going nowhere near it. The pick is going to be Johnson knockout round 1. Next fight, we got Timmy Kawamba versus Chang Ho Lee. We got Kawamba minus 119, the Changer minus 101, and fight doesn't go to decision here, sitting at plus 140 for this fight. So my original pick was Chang Ho Lee to win by decision, but I said that I wanted to wait until I saw Timmy Kawamba on the scales because this is his first fight at 135. And he was always talking about what a small featherweight he was. So, I wasn't exactly sure how Timmy was gonna, handle this weight cut. But it looked like he was ready to go. He was one of the first people to the scale. He looked pretty good up there. He looked like this might be the right weight class for him. And when I was breaking this fight down, like, I really like the style that Chang Ho Lee fights with. He's all offense all the time, heavy pressure on the feet, which he uses to kind of close the distance, put you on your back foot, and then get into the clinch. And then he just starts looking for trip takedowns, kind of like judo takedowns, not really like a freestyle wrestler, more of like trying to wear on you, lean on you, muscle you down to the ground. And he never stops with the offense. He just refuses to fuck off. He's going to consistently be shooting takedowns, landing dirty boxing or knees in the clinch, pressuring you at distance striking range, just throwing. So I love Chang Ho Lee's style, but his striking is shit. His wrestling is shit. His grappling is shit. He's not a good fighter. That's the problem. I mean, Timmy Kawamba is way more technical. He's going to be way faster at distance striking range. He's the better offensive and defensive wrestler. And I mean, I think he might even be the better submission grappler. We really haven't seen that side of him. But Chang Ho Lee's awful. I mean, this guy's getting dominated by pretty much everybody until they get tired. And the only thing that he really does well is just spam offense in all categories. So he looks good to the judges because of the constant offensive output that he brings. But like, he's going for takedowns and just pulling his opponent on top of them. He's so sloppy with his wrestling. His technique is terrible. He looks desperate to get takedowns, and he's like, he's tripping towards the side that he's got the underhook on instead of the overhook. And it's just like, that's like first day shit, like that's white belt judo shit, go towards the overhook, trip towards the overhook. That's where you're going to be able to sag down and get that guy to the ground. And he's doing it the opposite a lot of the times. Trying sacrifice throws at this level is just, it's suicide. So I don't like Chang Ho Lee. And I think Kawamba, who's going to be hitting him hard on the feet, I think he's going to be more physical actually in the clinch and with the wrestling. I think he can get on top of Chang Ho Lee and do some damage on top here. But where I really think he's going to hurt him is on the feet. Timmy Kawamba started showing some nice knees in the last fight against Roberto Romero. And I think that Kawamba has already fought better versions of Chang Ho Lee. He fought Mateo Vogel on Dana White's Contender Series. He fought Roberto Romero in his last fight. He fought Balaji Oki, who's 155, and a big 155er at that, in his UFC debut, a fight that he took on short notice up a weight class. So while I like Lee's style, and I think it's very effective, and I think it's going to win him fights at this level against people who can't handle his pace and pressure, I think Kawamba's way better at MMA. I think he's going to hurt him bad, and I think he's going to get him out of there. So I like Timmy Kawamba by second round knockout. Elikana versus Christian. I mean, like, this is such a bad fight. I don't know what Christian is doing in the UFC, but I still feel like I need to learn a lot about this guy. He only fights about once a year. He took 3 years off for COVID. His striking doesn't look technical at all. He's easy to take down, and then he plays Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu off his back. He's 6'6", and while almost all 6'6" guys are really unathletic people, this guy looks really unathletic for 6'6", Like there's like fat guys that are way more graceful and athletic than this guy Christian. He looks like a baby fucking giraffe out there. He's like throwing punches. Like, it's weird, dude. Like, I don't know what this guy's doing, but he's terrible. And then with Elikana, he's just kind of a low volume. He's much more technical than Christian, obviously way better coached. Just get a little bit more of a process to how he goes about fighting. But, I don't think Elikana is anything special. And he should be able to beat Christian. My money's going nowhere near this fight. I'm not comfortable with laying minus 260 on somebody like Elikana, who even on the regional scene against guys that are definitely not UFC level is fighting on very thin margins. So yeah, man, I keep me away from this fight. Elikana by decision is the pick. Very interesting fight here between Nascimento and Durden. We got Nascimento around a minus 300 favorite here. Durden plus 250. Fight doesn't go to decision or we had an under 2.5 sitting at minus 110. I think fight doesn't go, sitting around minus 130 right now. I'm picking Nascimento, but I think Durden is the side from the money line perspective here, because I think there's a couple of different ways that Cody can win this fight. Number one, Cody's the better offensive and defensive wrestler, so that affords him a couple of opportunities here. One, I think if Cody wants takedowns in top time, he can get them. Alon Nascimento's never stopped a takedown before. So if Cody wants top time, if he wants wrestling, if he wants to, land ground and pound, that's going to be there against Nascimento. But the problem is that Cody's been put in so many bad spots by aggressive submission grapplers before that he may not want to take that path. But there is another path. Like, these guys are well matched on the feet, but it clearly Nascimento is not comfortable on the feet. Well, I think Cody's a lot more comfortable making winning minutes and moments part of his at distance striking range, part of his process of how he fights. And if he wants to sprawl and brawl here and kind of dictate to Nascimento whether or not there are going to be grappling exchanges, because Nascimento is nowhere near the level of wrestling as Durden. So Durden can just stuff the takedowns of Nascimento, keep the fight on the feet, and make him fight a striking heavy battle. So when I see a plus 250 underdog with a couple of different paths to victory, it makes me very interested in not just the money line, but also the decision prop, because Alon Nascimento has never been finished as a professional, and I believe that might be over 30 professional fights. So Cody Durden by decision sitting at plus 460 on Bet Rivers Sportsbook is something that I might be playing small this week, because I do think that Cody has paths to victory here, and I think this money line is entirely too wide on Nascimento. But if this fight does go to the ground, Alon Nascimento is going to put Cody in some bad spots, and I think that a submission is a very high probability outcome there. So Nascimento submission round 2 is the pick for the fight, but I'm probably going to have money on the Cody Durden side after I saw that he made weight and looked good. One of the first people to the scales here at 130 pounds. So yeah, I think that Durden is the side from a gambling perspective, but it's hard to not pick Nascimento by submission. Like, if you look at my betting model for this fight, and the props just came out today, it's giving Nascimento here a 33% outcome for a submission, right? That's what my model is saying in row 20 here. The adjusted win condition is based on fighter A's win percentage and fighter B's loss percentage, and then fighter B's win percentage and fighter A's loss percentage on each side here. And the highest percentage outcome is number 1, Nascimento by sub. Number 2, Nascimento by decision. Number 3, Durden by decision. So I do like that Durden by decision. My model likes it quite a bit, almost a trifecta bet, as is Nascimento by knockout at plus 1,200. He's just not really a ground and pound guy. So yeah, I think that my favorite bet for this fight is the Cody Durden by decision at plus 500. The next fight is going to be Chuck Buffalo Charles C. Diddy Radke at minus 160, going up against the fighting pride of the proud nation of Romania, Daniel Frunza. We got Radke minus 160, Frunza plus 140, and the fight doesn't go to decision. Juice to the tits here. People are really expecting a finish on either side at minus 220. So I am going with a Radke decision. Now, I do think that there's a very high probability of an early finish, because Charles has serious power on the feet, and he's been knocked out in 3 of his professional losses. And we just saw Daniel Frunza get knocked out by Reese McKee in his last fight. So it's clear that Frunza is hittable, but he's also very durable, and he hits hard in his own right. So I could see a Radke KO. I could see a Frunza KO. But if you watch Frunza's tape on the regional scene, he's primarily a striker. That's his base. So people have tried to grapple him. And if Charles chooses to say, well, we've both got power on the feet, but I'm the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I train with Bilal Muhammad and Gerald Mearshart on the daily basis, So maybe if Charles does want to grapple here, we have to remember that Blood Diamond fight. Blood Diamond's just a kickboxer, right? But Charles was forcing the wrestling exchanges, but he was having a hard time getting Blood Diamond down and keeping him there. So I'm worried that this fight could see the scorecards if Radke grapples. But that's a big if, you guys, because, I mean, like, Charles Radke probably has more power than Frunze. I mean, we've seen this guy go out there and nuke a couple of different dudes at the UFC level with that left hook of his. So it's a tough fight to pick. But I could see Radke winning a greasy, control time-based clinch-heavy decision. I could see Radke sleeping Daniel Frunze with a left hook. I could see Radke getting a takedown, getting the back control and finishing with the rear naked choke here. So because of all three of those things, like, I could see multiple paths here for Charles Radke to victory. I think I'm going to pick Radke with quite a bit of confidence here. I'm going to pick him to win this fight by decision, but I think his money line is pretty good. -160, -170. There's a lot of reasons to like Radke here. He's more experienced at the UFC level. He has a strength of schedule advantage. He has better professional wins than Daniel Frunze, and he's the much more credentialed submission grappler in this matchup, while I believe that he also matches Frunze's power at distance striking range. So I think this line should actually be a little bit wider, and I'm picking Charles Radke to win this fight. The next one that we're going to talk about is Ketlen Vieira versus Norma Dumont. And I know that this is out of order. I really didn't think that they were going to keep this fight off of the main card. I'm kind of surprised that it's not on the main card. These are two top 10 bantamweights, arguably top 5 bantamweights. And not only are they on the prelims of a very low-level card, but they're buried on the prelims. Just one fight after Montserrat Ruiz versus Alice Artelene. So that's why this one is so high up on the list. So yeah, I'm going with Norma Dumont by decision. I really liked what I saw from Norma last time out, right? I mean, high volume. She was dealing with the forward pressure really well of a very good striker in Irene Aldana. Irene Aldana absolutely destroyed Ketlen Vieira, by the way, with a left hook. Absolutely chin spinner that just knocked her out cold. And I think that is actually a possibility here. I mean, Norma's got a little bit of power. Now that she's at shoot to box, I'm seeing a lot more aggression out of her. I'm seeing her show a lot more confidence, frankly, in her hands, in her power, in her ability to land big shots. And she had Irene in a couple of bad spots there. And Ketlen Vieira hasn't made 136 pounds in a minute, you guys. Don't forget, Ketlen showed up 10 pounds heavy for her last fight, and they had to move it up to 145 because Ketlen wasn't going to get anywhere close to making weight here. So I think that Norma's going to win here. I think she's going to be able to keep this fight at distance striking range, stay out of the clinch, and be the more active distance striker, pepper her, win minutes, bank rounds, win a decision. But I think Norma Dumont by KO at plus 1,200 is something I'm going to sprinkle small this week because I'm seeing a little bit more power, a little bit more volume, and a little bit more aggression out of Norma Dumont. And we've seen Ketlen Vieira knocked out cold at this level before, and she did make weight as opposed to coming in 10 pounds heavy last time. So maybe if she did have a tough weight cut in any way, she might be a little bit compromised. So I'm not comfortable like parlaying overs here, or even like, but even though I do think Norma's going to be the better minute winner, but Ketlen Vieira at dog odds has been somebody that has, when she's been priced as a pick'em or an underdog, 9 fights in the UFC, everybody. And this is in my fight write-up. If you look at the fight write-ups that I produce every week here, one of the things that we talk about are how they perform overall as a favorite and as a pick'em or underdog at the UFC level. And here for Ketlen Vieira, she's 7-2 when priced as an underdog with an average betting line of plus 164 and a return on investment of 92%. So Ketlen Vieira is somebody that if you just blindly bet as an underdog, you're just cashing over and over and over and over again. The market keeps underestimating her, and Ketlen keeps outperforming market expectations. So If you're thinking of getting on that Ketlin Vieira side, that's a pretty good reason to do so. But I'm still sticking with my Norma Dumont to win by decision pick. I think she's going to throw more volume, and I think she's going to be able to land the bigger shots at distance striking range and be a little bit faster than Ketlin as well. So, yeah, that's what we're going with. We're going with Dumont by decision. The next fight that we're going to talk about is Isaac Dalgarian going up against Yadier Del Valle. Dalgarian sitting around minus 240, Del Valle plus 205, and the fight doesn't go to decision here, sitting at minus 200. I think Isaac's going to run through Del Valle here. I think Isaac's an elite fighter. He's got elite wrestling, and if you don't have elite conditioning and, like get up game and really good ability to defend submissions and make your opponent work while they're on top of you, Isaac Dalgarian is going to absolutely run you into a dick saw. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. Yadier Del Valle's takedown defense is terrible. And even if it was great, like even if Yadier Del Valle had Jose Aldo takedown defense, I would come out here and confidently say that Isaac Dalgarian would put this dude on his ass in 10 seconds. There is no chance that this guy is going to stop Dalgarian's takedowns early. There is no chance that he is going to get back up once Isaac gets him down, and there's no chance that he is not going to suffer a ton of damage in round number one. And then I think Dalgarian, after beating the fuck out of him in round one, is going to finish him in round two. Could be ground and pound, could be a submission, but I think Isaac Dalgarian is going to run Yadier Del Valle into a dick saw, and I think he's going to show everybody that he's one of the best wrestlers in any division in the UFC right now. So I'm going with Dalgarian by submission in round number two. The next fight is going to be Jeremiah Wells. He is a plus 118 underdog to Temba the Answer Garimbo at minus 138. Fight doesn't go to decision here, sitting at minus 155 for this fight. I have no opinion on this fight. For the sake of making a pick, I'm going with Temba Garimbo by decision, but Jeremiah Wells hasn't fought in 20 months. He's coming off a dog shit performance against Max Griffin, and he just turned 39 years old yesterday, October 30th. Happy birthday, Jeremiah Wells. So I can't find any reasons, to put money on Jeremiah Wells right now with that pitiful momentum, with him clearly having probably 1 foot out the door of his MMA career. And with that last performance that we have to hang our hats on, no reason to back Wells here. And I never thought Temba Garimbo was good, so like, I'm not exactly sure how he's going to win this fight either, because, I think these guys are pretty well matched everywhere else. Like Wells didn't even try to wrestle Max Griffin, which is just bizarre to me, because Max was clearly faster and a lot better at distance striking range than he was. So yeah, I could see, I have no faith in either one of these guys. And I think the market's kind of got it right, because I think that Temba should be a slight favorite here, because at least he's still got a career in front of him. Like the UFC is trying to give Temba Garimbo the best possible matchups that they can. And I think this is one of the best matchups that he can get in the division, because they've already given him the matchups that they could. They gave him the big step up against a washed guy in Luque in the last fight, and he dropped the ball. And now we haven't seen him in 10 months. So like, I have no faith in either one of these guys. I'm going to go with Garimbo to kind of just care more, by Jeremiah Wells being washed. That's how Temba Garimbo wins by decision. Don't take my pick seriously, guys. I don't know who's winning this fight, and I don't think anybody really does. The next one, Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Ante Delia. We got Acosta plus 115, Delia minus 135. Fight doesn't go to decision, minus 130. I got to go with the Croatian here. The proud nation of Croatia, great people, great beaches, beautiful women, beautiful country. So Ante looked phenomenal in his UFC debut. Just ran through Marcin Tybura. But Tybura is a guy who's been knocked out a lot at the UFC level. So it wasn't, surprising to see him have more power and be that better moment winner at distance striking range. Waldo Cortez Acosta has a head like a fucking cannonball. So you are not knocking this dude out. I mean, he was eating flush shots from some of the biggest hitters in the division, and just nothing happens. Like you could hit this dude in his calf with a baseball bat, and he's still going to put weight on that foot. So I think that Delia is the faster striker. I think he's the more powerful striker. I think he's the better clinch game, and I think he's the better offensive and defensive wrestler, more likely to win minutes in the grappling exchanges of this fight, should there be any. So I am looking for Ante Delia to win this fight. Really the only way that you can win against somebody with the conditioning and the durability of Waldo Cortez Acosta, which is by decision. And Waldo's never really been a guy that has been showing big power at this level. Like the guys that he's knocking out here are not known for their durability, and most of his wins do come by way of decision. So while I like Delia here, I like the Delia money line, I like the Delia decision prop, I also like the over 2.5 rounds here because Waldo stays very busy. He's a very good boxer. And he's going to be not out of his realm at all at distance striking range against somebody like Delia. So I think it's going to be a close fight, but I do like the value on the Delia money line because I think he has more paths to victory, and I think he's more likely to win moments wherever this fight goes. And then I also think that the grappling upside for Delia is a lot better than Waldo here. So I like the money line, I like the decision prop, and I like the over 2.5 rounds here. Which brings us to the main event of the evening, Steve Garcia versus David Onama. Garcia minus 130, Onama plus 110. Fight doesn't go to decision. Juice to the tits at minus 700. I really don't know who's going to win this fight either, you guys. I think they're really well matched. I'm very impressed with Steve Garcia. I'm very impressed with David Onama. I think, obviously Onama a little bit more athletic. But, Garcia's got more experience. He's been around longer. I think his grappling game is pretty underrated. He's got phenomenal power. He really does. And I love the forward pressure that he fights with at distance striking range. I'd say that my favorite bet for this fight is the over 1.5 rounds, sitting at about minus 130 right now. Neither one of these guys has been scheduled for 5 rounds at the UFC level. So I do think that there's a very good chance that both of these guys are going to come out a little bit slower than they normally would. Like that first fight at 5 rounds, training for that, knowing that, if this thing does get into the championship rounds, like if you blow your load early, you might be dead in the water. If there's nothing worse than having nothing left in the tank, man. And so if that happens to either one of these guys, that's something that you got to worry about if you do want to go full out in round 1, like usually you see these guys do. So I like the over 1.5 here. I'm going with Onama by submission because I do think he's got a little bit of a grappling upside, a physicality edge maybe here. But this is such a hard fight to call, and I'm not really confident either way. But I think the reason I picked Onama is because he's been just a little bit plus money all week, and I feel like it's a coin flip. So I feel like Onama is the value side, and I think he's got a little bit better of a submission game. And, there's just some things that he's done, like knocking out Gabriel Santos is a big fucking deal to me. A big fucking deal to me. And the fact that he was able to touch that dude once and end the fight, I want to lean to the Onama side here, but I think the matchmakers really did a phenomenal job on this card. Onama versus Garcia is a fair fight. Acosta versus Delia is a fair fight. Wells versus Gorimbo is a fair fight. I don't think this is a fair fight, but I think it's a good prospect for Bulgarian to make a name off of here. This is a good fight, an all-action fight. This is going to be a good one here. They made it versus Esteban. I don't know why they thought that fight would happen. The two pull-out kings of the UFC, but this one's going to be fun. This one should be fun just to watch. I think these guys, this is a fair fight. I think this is a fun fight, fair fight, fun fight, fair fight, pretty fair fight. So I think the matchmakers really did, for a low-level card, with not big names, I think they did a pretty good job of giving us fair fights to bet on. And I've just chosen to stay away from like half of them, and I'm fine with that, because the other ones I think are solid spots to bet on. So let me give you guys my Bootsy Collins Memorial Dogs Are Barking pick of the week this week, and it's going to be that Phil Rowe money line. I just think that we're getting a lot of value here on the Rowe side. Don't forget, they made Seok-Young Ko a plus 400 underdog on Dana White's Contender Series against the guy in Igor Cavalcanti that there was no film on and who had never been out of the first round. Okay? And then he came in against Oban Elliott, also right around a plus 400 underdog. He performed way better, but I think now the secret is out. If you watched rounds 2 and 3 of the Ko fight on Dana White's Contender Series, if you watch that Oban Elliott fight, the secret's out. Stay out of this guy's clinch, and he's not going to be able to get his judo takedowns because he doesn't have great freestyle wrestling, you guys. So I think that Phil Rowe being much taller, being much longer, I think he's got a lot more power on the feet. And with his length on the ground, I think he's going to pose a lot more of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu threat if Seok-Young Ko were to get on top of him as well. So I think Rowe's got a few different ways to win this fight. And I think that Seok-Young Ko going from plus 400 in his last fight to being minus 180 in his next fight against a guy in Phil Rowe that I think is better than Oban Elliott, I think it's too much too soon. I think there's a lot of value on that Rowe money line. And I think that when you look at Seok-Young Ko getting knocked out not once, but twice on the South Korean regional scene, you guys, watch where he keeps his hands. I mean, like, they're nowhere close to his face. They're like spread way out, and his chin is up in the air, and he's just looking for that straight left hand. I think what he's going to find is Phil Rowe's straight right hand on his chin, and then the next thing you're going to know, it's going to be nighty-night. Keep your butthole tight, and he's going to be looking up at those lights wondering what the fuck happened. So Phil Rowe by KO is what I'm looking for here for your Bootsy Collins Memorial. Dogs Are Barking pick of the week, which brings us to the last order of business for the full card breakdown. Who's going to win? Who's going to win violently? Who's going to run their opponent into a dick saw? Well, we want somebody dominant, don't we? We want somebody very dominant, and it is going to be Isaac Dulgarian to shave the ass of Yadier Del Valle. I don't think Yadier Del Valle's striking is anything special, and I certainly know that his takedown defense isn't anything special. So I do think that this is going to be a problem. As long as Isaac doesn't get caught in his guillotine, as long as he doesn't shoot a shit shot, and he knows how to enter to limit Yadier's ability to find that neck, I think once he gets him down, I think he's going to slow Yadier Del Valle down immediately. And I think Isaac Dulgarian's top game and ground and pound are both terrifying. And I'm very confident that Isaac Dulgarian is going to go out there and run through Yadier Del Valle and cash us an Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week after last week when Jacqueline Amorim and Jailton Almeida absolutely blasted your Uncle Weezy in the ass with some of the worst performances on recorded history at the UFC level. So bounce back week. We're coming for that dog pick. We're coming for the ass shaving of the week. We're coming for all the tracked bets. And if you want to support my work, you guys, you can do it by clicking that link in the description of this video. It's going to give you 50% off all the fight write-ups. It's going to give you 50% off all the prop betting models, all the matchup stats, all of the over-under betting models, all of the individual fighter stats that'll help you play DraftKings, FanDuel, Prize Picks, Underdog. Underdog and Prize Picks now have the same scoring system. So you can just look at the Underdog line here and you'll get the Prize Picks information as well. All this stuff, including all the shows that you don't see on YouTube for free. Click for that. $12.50 for your first month. It's a great way to support your Uncle Weezy's work. And that won't even be available after midnight tonight. So do it today if you want access to this for the end of the year and get just access to more information that'll help you make better gambling decisions. All right, you guys, let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Time for some Ask Weezy. Oh, no, wait, we forgot. Shit, I forgot. We got to do a Greasy 4-leg parlay, don't we? So, and Jacqueline Amorim and what's his name killed us last week. If those two fighters would have just won those very winnable fights, we would have cashed it, but we didn't get there. So we're going to Bet Online this week, And I got something real simple. No real big props in here, just some really confident spots that I think are going to hit. Leg number 1, the Timmy Kawamba money line at -119. I think he's a better fighter than Chang Ho Lee, and I think that he's going to find a big knee, a big shot that drops him, and I think he's going to finish him with ground and pound. I'm looking for Kawamba not just to win this fight, but win it inside the distance. Leg number 2, we're going with Charles C. Diddy Radke at -170. I think he's going to beat Daniel Frunza. I think he's got multiple paths to victory. I think he could land a big left hook and knock this dude out. I think he can take this guy down, get to his back, and choke him out. I think that he could take this guy down, get on top, land ground and pound, win minutes, bank rounds, and win a decision. And so I think that there's just a number of different ways that Charlie can get this one done. And I think Daniel Frunza, after losing to Reese McKee in his UFC debut, has a lot to prove right here. And it's going to be a very difficult bounce back spot going up against the more experienced and well-rounded veteran in Charles C. Diddy Radke, the fighting pride of Chicago, Illinois. Chicago's very own Charles Radke, stand up. That brings this 2-leg parlay up to +192. Leg number 3, Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. Isaac, the Midwest Choppa Bulgarian at -240. That brings this 3-leg parlay up to +314. And the last leg that we're going to go for is going to be the Anti-Delia versus Waldo Cortez Acosta over 2.5 rounds, sitting at -130. That brings this 4-leg parlay up to, it says +624, but it's actually +633. So let me just fix that up. Bam. So it comes out to +633 on Bet Online Sportsbook. We're going 3 money lines and a total. It's going to be the Timmy Kawamba money line at -119. The Charles Chuck Buffalo Radke money line at -170. The Isaac Bulgarian money line at -240. And the Anti-Delia versus Waldo Cortez Acosta over 2.5 rounds at -130. Comes out to +633 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Let's cash this thing and make it 2 out of the last 5. What's going on with you guys in the chat here? What's happening? Good to see everybody hanging out. I saw that my guy Paku MMA was the first in the room saying a big oi. We got exclusive Oro in the room saying, oh, yes, another blessing from the uncle. Appreciate you, exclusive Oro. We got my guy Elijah Dream. Yes, what is up, Elijah? Good to see you hanging out in here. We got Dick's Insider with Jacqueline Amarim in the McDonald's hat saying, Prophet Weezy, did you know that Jacqueline Amarim turned out to be a savant on the deep fryers? I'm talking she's able to fry a hash brown to a perfect golden brown without a timer. That's special. Well, she found something that she's good at because it sure as shit ain't fighting. I'm fucking done with Jacqueline Amarim. Those McDonald's picks are epic. They really are, dude. Patchy and Jackie doing a good job there at the McDonald's, asking you if you want fries with that. We got Nathan Robinson in the room saying, oi, what's up, Nate? We got Ian Weishart in the room saying, oi, here's hoping that Uncle Weezy and I have something similar cooked up. Well, you know that I got my chef's hat on, and then I'm trying to cook up a little something extra tasty for y'all today. Something that'll get your mouth watering. We got Elijah Dream with the, what is up, Dream? We got High Mark Water saying, hit the like. Let's get it going, all. We got Abdi saying, dollar bill, y'all. What is up, Adil? We got High Mark saying, Uncle Weezy, peasy, baby. Let's go. We got the High Owl. Oh, yes. What is up, dude? We got Bunk Hoots in the room. We got Paku saying, ladies, gentlemen, what is up? We got Dixon saying, Prophet, I got 1.5 gram pre-roll joint at the dispensary for a penny for Halloween. We are celebrating tonight, baby. Woo! A 1.5 gram joint. That is a fatty, as we used to call it back in the day. Good stuff, my man. I hope you enjoy it and really, really enjoy it. We got Brandon saying made card at 7 o'clock Eastern. Beautiful. No one wants to be up until 1 a.m. watching this card. I agree. Yeah, the Vegas cards are good, you know, like especially when they have the fight night ones. they'll get them done at a respectable hour for you. And we got Olajuwon and Brandon saying about the Phantom. I don't know what they're talking about there. And Dixon saying that he actually heard me in the background during the intro. I don't think that was me, man. I don't think that was me. But anyway, we got where the fuck is our guy Samurai? We got Olajuwon saying Weezy Hefner is back. We got the coat on. Yes, sir, we do. You know, got the finery on. It's Friday afternoon. I'm probably going to have a nice little smoke after this show is over and get ready for these fights tomorrow. And I've got for my Odds Shopper members, by the way, I want to show you. We're almost done here on the stats. I'm about halfway through next week's card. We got Christian Leroy Duncan versus Marco Tulio. We got a bunch of really good fights. This is another Apex card, but we got Duncan Tulio. We got Ricky Simon versus Hani Barcelos. We got Taco Padilla versus Ismail Bonfim. We've got Matt Schnell versus Morales from Alpha Male. We got Earls Medic versus Muslim Salikov. We got Randy Brown versus Gabriel Bonfim. It's going to be a really good card. So, yeah, for all the Odd Shopper members, keep an eye out for next week's stats package. That'll be ready for you guys tonight. We got my guy Mushroom is in the room saying, what's up, Uncle Weezy? Let's stack him higher than Willie Nelson. He made Snoop Dogg tap. I remember that, man. Willie Nelson is an absolute veteran. We got my guy Tajik Bey in the room. What is up, dude? Good to see you hanging out in here. Mushroom saying, what's up to Tajik Bey? We got Backstabber in the room saying, love the West Loop, Weezy. Two things. What are your favorite submission? And two, does recency bias ever affect which fight? Can you remember it burning you? Yeah, look, I mean, sometimes recency bias is when the recency bias is really good. That's when I tend to try to look the other way because that's when you find value on the other side. And vice versa. Sometimes you can find somebody with a really bad performance in their last fight, but maybe you can explain it away with some legit reasons and then think you'll get an underpriced person the next time out. So it really depends. Like recency bias is something that you should be looking to play into to find value. But yeah, I mean, like, of course, sometimes you think, like, for instance, Amarim last week, you know, you see her running through girls like Viana and Tomopolis, and then you see another opponent that like fits right in with those type of opponents, you know, shit takedown defense, okay ground game, you know, no real power on the feet. And you see like, oh, well, Amarim, you know, has been handling this type of opponent easily. And this should be the same thing, you know, and yeah, I mean, like that caught me, you know, because sometimes when you see somebody doing something on tape, you have to wonder, can they do it to the next person? You know, like I think recency bias is causing people to overpay for Suk-Hyung Ko this week. So good to see Backstabber hanging out in here. We got my guy Michael is in the room. He made the 4-leg. Let's cash the 4-leg this week, Michael. We got to get this one, man. We got Tajik saying, what's up to Mushroom and shaking hands. We got Blue-Eyed Samurai saying, got an 8-ball in that jacket pocket, Weezy. I love it, dude. No, I don't. I do not. I do not. It's not going to be that kind of a night for me, but you never know, man. You never know what you might find in this little pocket over here. On party nights, my friend. We got Ayala saying, Volkov got me paid last week. Unk, say it with me. Jailton Almeida is fucking harmless. I just said it with you. And yeah, I mean, like he like tried to lose that fight. That was the easiest fight for him to win. You know, the takedowns were free. He had no problem getting them, and he just did no damage from top control. I thought Volkov deserved to win the decision because Almeida did no damage, and you have to know. You have to know that. Like, Jailton Almeida has to know that he has to do damage from top control, and he did none, and he lost the fight. So I hope that he fucking learns from this, because it's the first time that he's lost a fight due to his inactivity. You know, that's what you get for laying and praying. The Apex card needs help, says Ado Mac. We got Skyrocket 1010 saying, Weezy, your Mushroom is hanging out. Oh, no, of course he's hanging out. My guy Mushroom's always hanging out in here, Skyrocket. We got Backstabber saying, love from the West Loop. Oh, yeah, Wet Love from the West Loop. Yeah, okay, love you, man. I already answered those questions for you. Give Weezy money now, says Olajuwon Dream. Yeah, man. Hey, link is in the description of the video, man. You can click that. We got Just Win saying that he bets on narratives, not stats. For example, a black will always beat a white, but I'm here to learn. Yeah, I mean, we know that black doesn't crack. We know that, blacks are sometimes more athletic than the whites, yeah, I mean, like some of those things work a lot better than spending 3 hours watching tape breaking down all of the facts of the fight and then determining value. Sometimes it's the people who keep it simple, Just Win, baby, who get the job done, man. We got SF is in the room saying fade Dumas week. Let's go. We got Tajik Bey saying Carnelossi by submission. That would be wild if Carnelossi submitted a 10-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. But we will see, dude. This is MMA, and you just never know. Alan Carr by submission says hot MMA shorts. So Tajik Bey and hot MMA shorts going head-to-head here. We got Rose saying, Moyes saying Rowe is going to bonk him. I hope you're right, because if he does knock this dude out, it's going to be like almost a 5-unit win for me. So I'm really hoping that Phil Rowe gets the job done here. And Tajik Bey saying Rowe by sub. I would lose my 3/4 of a unit bet on Rowe by KO, but Rowe is a black belt and Ko is going to grapple. So he might get into a situation where he can find a submission. So, I mean, I've seen crazier things happen. Ko's probably going to wrestle. And yeah, I agree. I think he is, but I don't think he's really got like single legs and double legs, Blue Eye Samurai. I think he really kind of needs to be in the clinch to get takedowns. And if Rowe is smart and uses that height and reach advantage, now that's a big if, of course. That's a big if. But if Rowe wants to fight smart and use those measurables advantages that he has and try to keep this fight standing, I don't think Ko is going to be able to find takedowns in the open mat with traditional freestyle wrestling entries. We got Dixon saying, have you ever heard of a spoof? It's when you stuff an empty paper towel roll with dryer sheets so you can blow. Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah. We used to use that in the dorms back in my day. You'd put the dryer sheets in the empty paper towel roll and you exhale through that so that the smoke coming out of your mouth smells not like marijuana smoke. But we never called it a spoof. I don't know what we called it. But yeah, I've definitely heard that. I don't. What do we call that? I don't think we called it anything. It's just give me the fucking thing, give me the paper towel roll. I don't remember what we called it, but I definitely used it. The Oban fight is non-relevant. Oban had long COVID. It was attacking his cognitive abilities. Mitchell saying it's Uncle Weezy in this bitch, and he be fucking up all these bookies. I did not fuck up the bookies last week, you guys. I am on a losing streak right now, but if Gilton had just landed some ground and pound, it would have been an up week, but I got rinsed last week. But we're coming back this week. We're cashing this Greasy 4-legger. The ass shaving of the week is hitting. The dog pick of the week is hitting. We're getting it back this week, you guys. This is the bounce back week. I'm calling it. Yeah, Mizuki was gone too. I mean, I don't know how the fuck Amorim blew that. That was crazy. We got Moyes saying Dumas Black Spear of UFC. We got Tajik Bey likes Cedricus Dumas by submission. That could be a nice little ninja choke there, which we saw him get over Mateus Penai on Dana White's Contender Series. Could be, man. Especially if Dante looks to wrestle at all. We got Space Biscuit saying, give your Uncle Weezy money now. Let's get it, man. Appreciate you, Space Biscuit. That's one of my odd shopper crew. We got Timid E. Kawamba. Well, he's not going to be able to be timid against, what's his name? Against Lee. Lee's going to force him to fight. We got Holy as shit, says Benino. El Blanco says, I feel like it's only a matter of time before Lee gets completely smoked. Somebody who can effectively disengage with the grappling should be able to really expose his distance striking and shave his ass. And I hope that's going to be Timmy Kawamba because I'm picking him to win and I'm betting him to win. So we got Cherno Dog saying, Uncle Weezy, love watching your show. Let's get it this week. Love from Iran. Dude, appreciate you checking all the way in from Iran, man. Much love to you in Iran, Cherno Dog. Let's get this money this week, man. Enjoy watching the fights. We got J-Mo, the Toyota pickup guy in the room. My guy J-Mo saying, Weezy's the man. Enough said. Truly appreciate you, J-Mo. I hope all is well, brother. We got Bruno Rodriguez saying, Weezy always swears by Cody, LOL. I do. I like Cody Durden. I mean, I like guys that can wrestle. I like guys that are scrappy. And yeah, it's gotten me burned a couple of times, man. I backed Cody in his last fight against Ochoa. That did not work out well. But I remember having the under 2.5 at plus 200 in the Silva versus Durden fight, and that worked out very well. So, yeah, I backed Cody a couple times profitably, a couple times unprofitably, but I do think that Cody Durden by decision this week might be something I sprinkle small, trying to make a little over a unit. We got Olajuwon Dream in the room saying, see Diddy LMAO. We got Timmy and the Lords of the Underworld, says Olajuwon. He's a big fan of Timmy Kawamba and Timmy from South Park, and I think they're both going to get the job done this week. We got Radke clips him, Frunza recovers, then KOs Diddy. It could be, man. Like somebody could get served here. I see why people are betting the unders there. We got Hot MMA Short, says Radke round 1. Could be, man. We got Helder Sturari in the room saying, hey, Weezy, I was on the Power Slap broadcast team today, and now I'm here. Let's go, Unc. Brazil says hello. Helder's always checking in from Brazil. I know he's on that Brazil Power Slap commentary team. Great to have you hanging out in here, Helder. I hope all is well down there in Brazil. Boha. Appreciate you for hanging out, my man. We got Brandon saying, can't get past Frunza getting the shit beaten out of him by Reese McKee. Radke should maul this dude. Radke just can't let Frunza put him on the back foot, because I think why Reese McKee beat Frunza so bad was Reese won the pressure battle, because Radke's Frunza is used to being on that front foot. He's used to being the guy that walks his opponent down, and Reese didn't let him do that. And when he met him in the middle and started just throwing with him, you saw that, Frunza's hands weren't particularly sharp. They don't look that sharp unless he's got his opponent backing up. So my hope is that C. Diddy can stay in this dude's face and make him work and not wind up getting on the back foot. Just Scrap in the room saying, I don't get the Frunza love. I think Charlie smokes him. I think that you might be right about that. Scott saying, Chuck probably thinks grappling is gay. It could be, Chuck's a pretty, he's a man's man, dude. Chuck Buffalo's a man's man. He flips you off both hands, and when he flips you off, it's not just like this, right? Like he gets the thumbs out too, right? You see that thumb, and then he's like up like that. It's kind of a master class of flipping people off. You gotta love Chuck Buffalo, man. And I think he's gonna flip off Charlie Frunza and probably finish him. And my guy Elias in the room all the way from Greece. Good to see you hanging out in here. Let's get it, Uncle. Let's get it, my man. We got Helder saying an important question. Which fighter of the card would you take to watch a horror movie and try to kiss in the middle of a bloody scene? I think it would have to be Norma Dumont. I mean, let's just face it. Norma Dumont would be my number 1 choice. I think my number 2 choice would be Alice Ardeline. And then, it's got to be the girl with the neck tattoo after that. I think that's going to be number 3. And then Talita Allen Carr would be the number 4 choice. Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do there, Helder. I think that's a great question. We got Beat Fanatic in the room saying, good news. Norma's weight cut did not affect her ass. Let's go. Dude, you got to love it when everything comes up wheezy, and that's how you know. We got Helder saying, just because it's Halloween, Yeah, that's for sure, man. Dump Truck Dumont Decision says, Hot MMA Shorts. I agree with you there. Dump trucks require power. They do. Yes, they do. And that's big, strong legs that Norma's got on her. And the power comes from the legs, ladies and gentlemen. When you turn those hips, it's the legs that provide that power. Another week of some great fights. Let's stack it up. Says my guy Truth Hurts. Good to see you hanging out in here. We got El Blanco saying, always got to get excited for Dumont Fight Week. You damn right. And ring a ding ding, you guys. MB with the $4.99 super sticker. Keeping the lights on here in your Uncle Weezy's studio. Much appreciation. Much love, my man. MB, truly appreciate you, dude, for the $5 donation. We got Gus B indicating that he thinks it's going to be a dick saw as well for Isaac Delgarian's opponent, Yadier Del Valle. Isaac round 1 says, Hot MMA Shorts. I think Del Valle has better Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but Isaac has better wrestling and ground and pound. Yeah, I mean, like Del Valle does have high-level Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he's probably got the better BJJ, pure BJJ for sure. But Bulgarian's wrestling is just phenomenal. We got Aubrey in the room saying, oi, 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 what is up, Aubrey? Good to see you hanging out in here. We got Enlighten My Opinion saying it's SD Fight Week, everyone. Let's get it, man. JWB in the room saying this may be a good card to take all the WMMA underdogs. What do you think? I'm not betting a lot of those fights. The only one that I would actually recommend taking, well, I don't actually mind the Carnelossi play just because I think, like, I mean, if she were to stop some takedowns or if she was to get back up, that she could really kind of keep this fight close. And I think that Ketlin Vieira, I mean, she's just proven it over and over and over again at plus money, 7 wins, 2 losses, over a 90% ROI. Ketlin Vieira cashes tickets for people that back her as an underdog. So those would be my 2 favorite ones to back. But I think the only thing that I have on any of those fights is Norma Dumont to win by decision in a parlay, in my Stop the Violence parlay. And I think that I'm probably going to play a quarter unit on Dumont by KO. And Aubrey with the, oh, what is up, Aubrey? And saying, slick jacket, my friend. Are we heading to the club later? No, this is my smoking jacket. You know, this belonged to my grandfather. He bought this in the 1950s at Marshall Fields on Michigan Avenue. And it was passed down to me. I never met him. He passed away before I was born in 1973, but this was passed down along to me. I've kept it. I love this coat, and I wear it. And I know that, you know, I got my ancestor in here, and he was a great man from everything that I heard about him. So appreciate you. This was my grandfather's jacket, and I love rocking it. JWB saying, we're hoping you win big on this card, my friend. Yeah, I think we are, man. I think we're going to win big. We need a bounce back week this week. I need it especially bad, but I love my spots. So we got Aubrey saying the proud nation of Croatia. And yes, sir. We got Delia at 2.1. So you got plus 110. That's a good line, man. A lot better than what I got. Delia by KO because MMA doesn't make sense. That's fine, man. I got no problem with that. As long as it's after 12 and a half minutes, then I would really appreciate it. Waldo via Homer Simpson. He is Homer Simpson, man. We got Tajik Bey saying this one can go to decision. Garcia via split. Yeah, I mean, you never know, man. You never know. His last fight went to decision. We got Kim Jong off in the room saying happy Halloween, y'all. Appreciate you. The decision odds are crazy, says Medek. Yes, they are. Both can get dropped, but they are also durable and will respect each other's power. And I agree with that as well. I like the over 1.5 rounds here at around minus 130 for the main event. We got Helder saying, would you prefer $1 to bem off the top of Norma or $10K to be on the bottom with a sweaty... I don't know how to answer that question, man. Or $10K to be on the bottom with a sweaty Delia on top. I think I'd just take the $1. I think I'd take the $1, man. You know, depends on if the juice is worth the squeeze. I like the roll call, says JWB. I hope it fucking cashes. We got Hot MMA Short, says sketchy 50-50 cards. Save the units live another week. Got you, man. Nighty night. Keep your butthole tight. Looking up at the light. Oh, what a fright, says Beat Fanatic 1987. We got Yitro saying every fight on this card is like the first fight on every other card except the main event. Totally agree with that. We got Trin saying I was going to bet Amarim last week, but then I saw Mizuki at the weigh-ins, and her ass looked like she was doing some squats, so I figured her knee was better. Still got screwed on Almeida, though. Yeah, Almeida not doing any damage from top control was disgusting. Corgi Wrangler saying Onama has the better chin, but Garcia just seems more confident in the cage. I tend to agree with both of those things. Gate is real, says Elijah. Oh, I appreciate you, Ong, says Grateful Dude. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. We got Olajuwon saying, got to spark him up on Halloween night. Let's do it. We got Azuro saying, love me some family time with Uncle Weezy. Good to have you hanging out in here. We got one of my fraternity brothers, Rob Pagorni in the room saying, puff, puff, give. Rivers tomorrow. I got nothing going on, brother. Let's do it. And I know I'm going over to Chris's on Sunday to watch some football. And me and my guy Brady, we're not doing Stat Diggers anymore on Sundays. We're doing it on Mondays. We started deciding to be better to ourselves and give ourselves a day off. So, yeah, man, if you want to hook up for the fights tomorrow, Rob, let's do it, dude. We got CashApp Chris saying, about to roll up a fatty of Bloomington headband. Let's go. Headband's a nice strain, man. Nice 70% sativa strain there. Good stuff. I haven't had Bloomington headband, but I'm sure it's delicious. Weezy, your mushroom is hanging out. What is up, Skyrocket 1010? No, I mean, you can't see any mushrooms in here. Just my guy mushroom. We got High Hefner, says Speed Fanatic. We got Robert in the room saying, Weezy, we're about the same age with a plethora of wisdom. What is your gut feeling regarding Tom? Should he have continued? I'm skeptical due to the overstating of the situation by him and his dad. I think he absolutely should not have continued. And I don't understand why people were saying that they thought Serial Gone was just fucking piecing up Tom. Like, that felt like an extremely close fight to me where nothing was decided. So, yeah, I mean, he clearly got poked badly in the eye. And with a fight with that much at stake, you shouldn't be forced to fight at less than 100%. And I don't know what Tom saw in his eye. I just know that eye poke was real, and that somebody who's never been poked in the eye and then forced to fight afterwards, I'm going to take Tom's word for it. We got Weezy. I seen your muffin carved into Mount Rushmore. Dude, it could happen, man. I mean, I've always kind of said that, you know, why is Theodore Roosevelt on there? You know, fuck him. Get me on there. I got a better mustache than him. My MMA picks were way better than Theodore Roosevelt's. Well, is Theo on there even? Fucking, because who is it? It's Lincoln, Washington. Is it Jefferson, I hope? I hope Jefferson's on there. And then maybe they put like Theodore Roosevelt? I don't even remember. Somebody's going to have to help me out here, man. That was an epic oi. It was, dude. It was, but you typed it epic. So I had to do it. Old tricks we used to use back in the day. Absolutely, man. We called them filters or an air purifier, says Boy Blue. Yeah, I don't remember what we called it. Like, we had some kind of word for it too, remember? We got Olajuwon saying used to use a spoof and Febreze the shit out of my college room. Yeah, man. See, for me, I didn't smoke much because I was only in the dorms my freshman year. From sophomore year on, I lived in the fraternity house, and we didn't have like a house mother or any of that shit. So like, we just smoked whenever the fuck we wanted to. I think it was called a sploof and a spin-on spliff, or some called it the doob tube. That's pretty good. I like both of those. Blow tube. That's what we called it. Because Rob and I were in the same room smoking weed, dude, at the Sigma Chi house at 910 Hillcrest in DeKalb, Illinois, my friend. My guy Rob Pagorni was calling it a blow tube, and that's what we called it. We called it a blow tube. There we go. And my guy 33 saying, do you smoke weed still? Yes, I do. I do. Tamara. We got Beat Fanatic saying, did anyone notice Daniel Frunza has one extremely large nipple? I did not notice that. Everyone talks about the third nipple on Ante Dellier, but I did not notice that Frunza has one big nipple. Phil Rowe by KO round 2. I hope you're right on that, Justin Cash, because I think that's what I'm picking as well. I was rolling when Chick... Yeah, I know. Fucking Chuck. You gotta love it, dude. He always does that. It's a great bit. I enjoy it, man. Need Norma to sit on your face. You get in line. Chuck Buffalo is the best. It's going to be a bloodbath, and Chuck is on top. I agree with you, man. Don't do drugs that make you gay and retarded, says my guy Paul. We got House of Pain says has to be Norma. Has to be. Agree. I think it should be. We got, would you consider live betting Dumas after round 1? I feel like it's his fight to win. If it reaches rounds 2 and 3, his decision is plus 1,000. Potentially. I could potentially see doing that. But still, it's a greasy fight that I don't feel any obligation to have money on. What is up, Glenn? Good to see you hanging out in here. We got Weezy next fight. What is the line? Aspinall minus 140. Yeah, it could be, man. Like, people really thought that Gane was tuning him up So it was minus 400 the first time. So I think maybe they might open it at minus 200. And then if people can get gone at plus 160, they might bet them down a little bit there. Who knows, man? It's going to be tricky. Roosevelt is on there. His glasses were redone recently. Okay, yeah. Now I'm sure it was the first Roosevelt, not the second, because like that mountain was carved a long time ago. Aspinall was minus 205 on the early line. I didn't know that. Okay. We got for the next fight, Brandon, and then we got take that scumbag dishonest Abe off of Mount Rushmore. I mean, I have no problem with that either. He is the pride of Illinois. He's an Illinois boy like me, but yeah, not a fan, you know. Okay, thank you, says Bean Eggs. And all right, you guys, I think we did it. An hour and 15 minutes in, 250 of you hanging out live. Appreciate each and every one of you. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. Hit that subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. And please consider clicking that link in the description of the video. Get you 50% off your first month's membership to the probability stats and content package. You can check out all the phenomenal stuff that goes along with that, including my subscriber-only content on YouTube. So let's stack cashed tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vegas 110. And we will see you guys next week on Monday night for Stat Diggers, 10:15 Eastern time for what is going to be UFC Vegas 111, which is headlined by Gabriel Bonfim and Randy Rude Boy Brown. Should be a great fight there. So we'll see you guys next week. Good luck on all your bets, and let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks tomorrow for UFC Vegas 110. Take it easy, everybody.